Hey, welcome back to the Leader Roots podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Smallwood. Hey, on this show, we explore the heart of leadership and also on thoughts of being a good human resource for other people. In today's topic, we're going to talk about don't quit your job. Don't quit your job. But before we get started, I want to thank you for tuning into the podcast. Guys, without you, this podcast wouldn't be available. I mean, I'm grateful because without you, the show wouldn't be possible. I also want to encourage all the leaders, all the listeners out there to get some people in your life who can help you grow. You know, no man is an island, and we can all use some help being a better version of ourselves. I'd also like to thank all my mentors out there who continue to pour into my life. I appreciate you. You know, having a good job today is a blessing. It may not be where you want to spend the rest of your career, but until you truly find your work, don't quit. In today's episode, we want to talk about some thoughts to consider. Okay, on today's topic, first, I want to say it's a blessing to have a job. Right? And most of you would agree with that. You know, I spent a lot of hours on interview panels where there was only one position available and 30 to be interviewed. That means 29 resumes that qualify for the role didn't make the cut. And some of you still remember. You know, you remember when you first got employed. It felt great, didn't it? You were the one that got selected. To have an income where you can pay your bills and feed your family, how cool was that? But it seems that somewhere in between, thank you, Jesus, for getting me this job, to why am I even here, something gets lost. And it could be a host of things, right? But I just want to share just a few thoughts on these subjects. Okay, here goes. Here's one. On your job, stop asking, what am I getting here? And start asking yourself, what am I becoming here? If we're not careful, the people we work around every day could begin to influence our whole perspective. Not just our perspective at work, not just what we do, not just our perspective of the company that we work for, but our perspective about life. We begin to take for granted the things we used to be thankful for. If you don't keep your light bright, the light to your philosophy, to how you view the world, someone else's light could unconsciously lead you in the wrong direction. Why is it important? You know, it's important because what you are becoming is attracting what you're experiencing. You can't separate the two. And here's another one that I want to share that's sometimes hard to accept, but it's just a thought, Stop trying to work on the company. Stop trying to change the company. Start working on you. We don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. It's through the lens of who we are that determines our experiences, whether those experiences are good or whether they're bad. And whatever you do, don't quit your job out of frustration. You'll just be taking that same person to the next job who couldn't handle the one you just left. Ha! It's just a thought. Don't get offended. So, try to do some soul searching first. Think about how it was when you didn't have a job. And if your current job is not meeting your expectations, is it possible to tweak your expectations to make it work for you? I don't know. I'm just asking. And if you want to quit because the process is hard, I understand. But please remember this. Everything is hard until you learn how to do it. There's no other way. So try to hang on a little bit longer. Everything gets easier with time. There's this quote by Guy Finley that helped me a few years ago. He said, you can let go of those resentful feelings towards your job because the treadmill isn't what you're doing, but the way you're thinking. Well, that made sense to me, that if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It seems to be a big deal in my life nowadays. Changes the way you look at things, Stephen, and the things you look at change. So I found a way to think differently about my job, and I'll tell you, the resentment did go away. And here's another thing. When it comes to coexisting with others on the job, if you want to quit your job because of an issue with another employee, before you quit, ask yourself the question. Here it goes. Can it be me that's bothering me about them? I'm going to say it again. Can it be me that's bothering me about them? And if I change the way I look at that person, is it possible that my problem can go away? You know, at some point, wherever you are, you'll have to ask yourself the question, what's inside of me that's causing me to hurt myself because of what someone else thinks? I believe it's worth repeating. What's inside of me that's causing me to feel hurt because of what someone else thinks? You know, in my HR world back in the day, there was times when someone would come to the office to complain about someone else in the department. And in my opinion, and I can admit it now, because I don't work there anymore, it was rarely ever a serious complaint. Here's some. Okay, here goes. And some of you guys have heard them before. Stephen, she was staring at me from the other side of the shop. Oh, I heard he was talking about me. Someone told me that she had a problem working with people who speak Spanish. I can't work with him because of his political views. And on and on and on they would come in. Whenever complaints about another person, especially about their behavior, came to me, I would always start my investigation starting with the person who brought the complaint. Always. Because I wanted to give them the opportunity to see if there was something in them that was causing the unwanted discomfort from others. I wanted to find out if the root cause of the problem was their own thinking. And if it's not brought to light, then before you know it, it's someone else. Sooner or later, that'll be the next subject of the discomfort. So as an HR professional, my job was to help them deal with some of the things at work that they would deal with any job. So listen, you don't have to quit. But if it's time to move on to something else, by all means, please move. But please don't quit, especially if that change is in you. Hey guys, I'm done for now. Don't forget to click and subscribe. And if you know someone who might benefit from today's show, please share it with them. It's so cool. This is good stuff. You don't want to waste it. And if you want to follow me in future topics from other leaders, please log in to leadershiponemedia.com. That's leadershiponemedia.com. And we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.